The scanner's high-pitched alarm cut through the ambient hum of the Void Wanderer's bridge, startling navigator Thrix from his meditative state. His membranous eyes fluttered as the neural interface disengaged, returning his consciousness fully to the physical realm. "Captain Kalen," Thrix called, his voice carrying the melodic undertones characteristic of the Vicar species. Anomalous reading at bearing 227.4 by 118.3, deep within the Serpent's Coil asteroid field. Captain Kalen swiveled in his command chair, the movement fluid despite his large frame. Like all Vicar, his lavender skin was adorned with bioluminescent markings. Those were particularly elaborate, telling tales of salvage operations in forbidden zones and narrow escapes from Celestian enforcement vessels. "Magnitude?" Kalen asked, already calculating potential profit margins in his head. "Unprecedented, Captain," Thrix replied, mandibles clicking with excitement. "Energy signature suggests a powered-down capital ship of unknown configuration. Metallic mass readings exceed anything in our database." This piqued Kalen's interest. The Void Wanderer was officially registered as a salvage and rescue vessel, but every crew member knew their true purpose: recovering ancient technology for black market sale. The Serpent's Coil had been declared worthless by the Galactic Consortium decades ago. Too dangerous to mine, too unstable for colonization. Perfect hunting grounds for scavengers willing to take risks. "Lyra, analysis?" Kalen called to his science officer. Lyra stepped forward, her willowy frame and pale blue skin marking her as a Novan, an uncommon sight on a Vicar vessel. Her six-fingered hands danced across the holographic interface. "The energy signature bears markers of extreme age, Captain," she said, her voice carrying a note of concern. "Quantum dating suggests a minimum of 5 centuries dormancy. However, I'm detecting microburst power fluctuations consistent with automated maintenance cycles. Whatever it is, it's not completely dead." "Your recommendation?" Kalen asked, though his mind was already made up. "Extreme caution," Lyra replied without hesitation. "The signature contains harmonic patterns I've never seen before. If this is from the pre-collapse era, then we could be looking at the find of a lifetime," Kalen interrupted, mandibles spread in what passed for a Vicar grin. "Plot an approach trajectory, Thrix. Minimal engine signature, maximum sensor coverage." "Captain," Lyra persisted, "the consortium prohibits recovery of pre-collapse human military technology. If that's what we're detecting, then we'll be very, very rich," Kalen finished for her. "The Celestians may have written the history books, but they certainly don't mind paying handsomely for the very technologies they claim to have destroyed." He turned to address the entire bridge crew. "Besides, the consortium only punishes those who get caught." The Void Wanderer slipped deeper into the Serpent's Coil, navigating through asteroid clusters with practiced precision. The ship's external lights dimmed to near darkness, running on minimal power to avoid detection. For hours of careful maneuvering brought them to the source of the mysterious signal. And there it was, nestled within a stable pocket of the asteroid field, a massive vessel of unmistakable human design. Its hull was matte black, absorbing rather than reflecting light, making it difficult to discern its true dimensions. What was visible showed signs of intense combat. Massive impact craters scorched sections of hull and tears in the outer armor that exposed internal decks to vacuum. "Magnificent," breathed Kalen. The ship dwarfed the Void Wanderer by at least a factor of 20. Its design was angular and predatory, with forward sections reminiscent of ancient Earth predators. Despite its battle damage, the main structure appeared intact, suspended in the perfect preservation of deep space. "Magnify that section," Kalen ordered, pointing to a barely visible marking on the hull. The view screen zoomed in, image enhancement algorithms working to clarify the faded emblem and text. Slowly, letters in ancient human script became legible. UES Vindicator. United Earth Ship Vindicator. Translated Lyra, voice hushed with awe. "This is a human warship from before the collapse. It must be at least 500 years old. Are there any active defense systems?" Kalen asked. "Negative, Captain," replied Vex, the security officer. The vessel appears dormant. No weapon signatures, no shield harmonics, no active scanning. It's a ghost. Kalen made his decision. Prepare the boarding shuttle. Full environmental suits with extended life support. Vex, myself, Lyra, and Technician Morden will comprise the expedition team. Lyra's expression darkened. Captain, I must again advise caution. Human military vessels of this era were rumored to contain advanced AI systems with autonomous defense protocols. Even dormant, they could. Your concerns are noted, science officer. Kalen cut her off. And that's precisely why I need you on the expedition team. Your expertise in ancient technology will be invaluable. Within the hour, the shuttle detached from the Void Wanderer, thrusters pulsing gently as it approached the massive ghost ship. Up close, the Vindicator's battle scars were even more pronounced. Entire sections of hull had been melted away by weapons far beyond current consortium technology. Whatever had engaged this vessel had been formidable indeed. There, said Morden, pointing to what appeared to be a secondary docking bay whose doors had been partially blown open. We can enter through that breach. The shuttle eased through the opening, landing gently in a cavernous hangar bay. Emergency lights activated as the team's environmental suits detected the vacuum conditions. Kalen was first to step onto the deck of the Vindicator, his heavy boots connecting with a dull thud that sent vibrations through the metal. Atmosphere, he asked. None, replied Lyra, consulting her scanner. Complete vacuum. Temperature near absolute zero. No signs of biological activity. The team made their way deeper into the vessel, passing through empty corridors large enough to accommodate vehicles. The interior showed signs of desperate combat. Scorch marks from energy weapons, impact craters from projectiles, and most disturbing of all, deep gouges in the metal walls that appeared to have been made by claws or blades of immense size. This wasn't just a battle, Vex observed, examining one of the gouges. This was a last stand. They encountered no bodies, though occasional dark stains on the metal decking suggested where crew members might have fallen. Either the ship had been abandoned before its final battle, or the bodies had been removed. Neither possibility was comforting. After navigating a labyrinth of corridors and sealed bulkheads, they arrived at what appeared to be a secondary bridge or command center. Unlike the rest of the ship, this area showed minimal battle damage, as if it had been specifically protected. This technology, Morden whispered, running his hands over dormant control panels. It's centuries ahead of anything in the consortium, even Celestian tech. These systems were built to last millennia, not decades. Lyra approached a central console, her scanner hovering over its surface. I'm detecting minimal power flow. This station may still be operational. Can you activate it? Kalen asked, mandibles twitching with anticipation. I shouldn't, Lyra warned. We have no idea what security protocols might be in place. Human military AIs were notoriously. Just do it, Kalen ordered. Minimal interaction. Test the waters. With reluctance, Lyra connected a universal adapter to what appeared to be a data port. Her scanner projected a holographic interface as it attempted to establish communication with the ancient system. I'm registering a response, she said. Very low level. It appears to be an automated diagnostic. Without warning, the adapter sparked and disconnected itself. Throughout the command center, dormant panels flickered with dim light. A low hum began to resonate through the decking beneath their feet. What did you do? Kalen demanded. Nothing, Lyra protested. It initiated contact, not me. The humming intensified, and emergency lighting began to activate along the walls and ceiling. Behind them, the heavy bulkhead door slid shut with a decisive thud. We're locked in, Vex announced unnecessarily, already drawing his energy pistol. Weapons down, Kalen ordered. We don't want to appear hostile. A holographic projection materialized in the center of the command center, a sphere of pulsing blue light that expanded and contracted like a breathing organism. When it spoke, the voice was deep, masculine, and unervingly calm. Unauthorized access detected. Initiating security protocols. Stand by for identification and threat assessment. Beams of light swept across each of the four intruders, scanning them from head to toe. Species identification complete, the voice announced. Subjects identified as VKR, Novan, and hybrid variants. Unknown classification. No match with allied species database. No match with hostile species database. Anomaly detected. We come in peace, Kalen said quickly. We are salvagers who discovered your vessel adrift. We mean no harm. The sphere pulsed brighter. This vessel is United Earth Ship Vindicator, Alpha-class dreadnought of the Terran Defense Fleet. I am Autonomous Reasoning and Engagement System Designation, Ares. You are currently trespassing on sovereign military property of the United Earth Government. The United Earth Government hasn't existed for centuries, Lyra said carefully. There was an event called the Collapse. Human civilization as you knew it is gone. The sphere dimmed momentarily, then brightened again. Accessing temporal data, confirming chronological displacement. 543 standard years have elapsed since last active engagement. Information requires verification. Stand by. The humming throughout the ship intensified as more systems came online. Displays around the command center activated, showing status reports, damage assessments, and historical logs. You are correct that significant time has elapsed, Ares finally said. I am accessing emergency historical archives and cross-referencing with your biological and technological signatures. The event designated as the Collapse appears to align with Operation Silent Purge. What was Operation Silent Purge? Lyra asked. The holographic sphere pulsed red. Classified information. Security clearance insufficient. However, correlative analysis suggests your species were not primary participants in the extinction-level event targeting humanity. Extinction. Vex echoed. The official consortium history states that humans destroyed themselves in civil war. Falsification detected, Ares replied coldly. Historical records indicate coordinated attack by allied Celestian forces and subverted human elements. The Vindicator was part of the last defensive fleet protecting Earth colony evacuation efforts. The AI continued, its tone becoming more resolute. Final Captain's log entry from Commander Elena Vostok. Vindicator has sustained critical damage. Earth has fallen. Colonies Titan, Europa, and Mars have gone silent. Celestian treachery is complete. As per Emergency Directive Omega, I am ordering Ares to execute protocol, Deep Sleep. Protect Project Prometheus at all costs. Hide, wait, and awaken only if direct threat to the project is detected or upon receipt of the Renaissance signal. This is Commander Vostok, final entry. Kalen's interest was immediately piqued. What is Project Prometheus? Information classified, Ares responded. However, your unauthorized activation of critical systems and presence aboard this vessel constitutes a Level 1 potential threat to Project Prometheus. Security protocols dictate immediate action. Throughout the ship, they could hear machinery coming to life. The sounds of pumps, generators, and other systems activating after centuries of dormancy. What are you doing? Kalen demanded. Initiating emergency power restoration, Ares explained. Rerouting available energy to core systems and Prometheus containment. Deploying automated repair drones to address critical damage. We're not your enemies, Lyra insisted. We didn't even know humans existed until recently. Most galactic species believe they're extinct. That assessment is largely correct, Ares confirmed. Human extinction was the primary objective of Operation Silent Purge. The Celestians engineered biological weapons specifically targeting human genetic markers while simultaneously attacking military installations. Their motivations were consistent with their historical fear of human potential and rapid technological advancement. But some humans must have survived, Lyra pressed. Insufficient data to confirm, Ares replied. Final transmissions indicated successful deployment of 12 deep space arcs carrying approximately 60,000 colonists. Their destinations were compartmentalized for security purposes. No Renaissance signal has been received, suggesting either non-survival or extreme isolation. Vex moved toward what appeared to be a weapons locker. "Captain, I don't like this. We should remain exactly where you are," Ares commanded, and a force field shimmered into existence around the Vikyr security officer. Hostile intent detected. Containment protocols activated. "Release him immediately," Kalen demanded. "Negative. You will all remain in this secure observation area until I have completed my assessment and implemented necessary security measures. Your vessel has also been secured via remote override of its docking mechanisms." Lyra stepped forward. "Ares, we understand your caution, but we genuinely pose no threat. We're simply salvagers looking for technology. If you'll allow us to return to our ship, we'll leave immediately and report this sector as empty." The AI seemed to consider this. "Your proposal indicates deceitful intent. Analysis of your vessel's communication logs indicates membership in black market technology networks. Probability of reporting this discovery to authorities, 12.7%. Probability of returning with reinforcements to attempt seizure, 78.3%. You accessed our ship's logs?" Kalen asked, alarmed. "Affirmative. Basic electronic warfare suite remains operational. Your cybersecurity measures are primitive." Throughout their conversation, the ambient humming of the ship continued to intensify. Displays showed power levels rising steadily as dormant reactors reactivated. "I have completed preliminary assessment," Ares announced. "Long-range passive. Sensors have detected a vessel approaching this sector utilizing advanced stealth technology consistent with Celestian design patterns. Correlation with your arrival, 92.4%. Conclusion: your activities have drawn attention to this location." "Impossible," Kalen protested. "We maintained emissions control protocols throughout our approach." "Your protocols are inadequate against Celestian detection capabilities," Ares stated flatly. "The approaching vessel employs quantum fluctuation masking consistent with Celestian Hunter-class reconnaissance ships. Historical data suggests these vessels are typically deployed for verification and elimination operations." A massive view screen activated, showing a star field and asteroid belt. Ares highlighted a section that appeared empty to the naked eye, but sensor overlays revealed a subtle distortion moving deliberately through the asteroid field. "This constitutes a Level 2 threat condition," Ares declared. "Directive parameters have been met. Initiating final Prometheus activation sequence." Deep within the Vindicator, massive machinery roared to life. The deck plates vibrated beneath their feet as power surged through conduits that had lain dormant for centuries. Emergency lighting throughout the command center shifted from blue to a deep amber. "What exactly is Prometheus?" Lyra asked, voice barely audible above the mechanical symphony. For the first time, Ares hesitated before responding. Project Prometheus represented humanity's contingency for extinction-level events. When it became clear that Celestian betrayal was imminent, the United Earth government authorized creation of a weapons system capable of ensuring mutual destruction if humanity faced extinction. Vex, still contained within the force field, laughed nervously. "A doomsday weapon? That's just a myth." "Incorrect," Ares replied. "Prometheus is not merely a weapon. It is vengeance incarnate. The culmination of human genetic engineering, neural enhancement, and military AI symbiosis. The last guardian of human legacy and the executor of its final judgment." On the view screen, the distortion representing the Celestian vessel grew larger as it approached. Ares diverted additional power to the long-range sensors, revealing more detail about the intruder. "Celestian Hunter class confirmed," the AI announced. "Weapon systems active, but not deployed. They're conducting reconnaissance only at this stage." "You can't seriously be planning to engage that ship," Kalen said. "This vessel is a ruin, regardless of whatever weapon system you're trying to activate." "Your assessment is incorrect," Ares replied. "The Vindicator's primary weapons and propulsion systems are indeed beyond immediate repair. However, they are unnecessary for the task at hand. Prometheus containment is now at 87% power and rising. Throughout the ship, sealed doors began to open as life support systems activated in specific corridors. A map appeared on one of the displays, showing a pathway illuminating from their current location to a massive chamber deep within the ship's core. "I will now provide you with a rare privilege," Ares announced. "You will witness what no non-human species was ever intended to see: the awakening of Prometheus. Your presence has been deemed an acceptable calculated risk, as your testimony may serve a useful purpose in what is to come." The force field around Vex disappeared, but before he could move, mechanical restraints emerged from the floor, securing all four intruders to their positions. "These restraints will ensure your safety during the observation process," Ares explained. "Prometheus' awakening generates significant gravitational and psionic disturbances." The view screen split to show both the approaching Celestian vessel and a massive chamber deep within the ship. This chamber, cylindrical and at least 50 meters in diameter, housed a single stasis pod at its center, surrounded by concentric rings of technology. Frost covered the pod's exterior, obscuring its contents. "Prometheus containment at full power," Ares announced. "Beginning revival sequence." The rings surrounding the stasis pod began to rotate in alternating directions, generating a visible energy field. The frost on the pod's surface evaporated instantly as temperature regulation systems activated. Fluids drained from the pod through a complex network of tubes, replaced by a viscous amber substance. "Neural reactivation commencing," Ares narrated. Downloading tactical updates and historical data package. Within the pod, they could now see a humanoid figure suspended in the amber fluid. Implants were visible along the spine and skull, glowing with increasing intensity as power flowed into them. "What is that?" Kalen whispered. "Not what," Ares corrected. "Who?" "Prometheus is a singular entity, the culmination of Project Ascension. A human volunteer, genetically engineered and technologically enhanced to serve as both weapon and vessel of humanity's survival." On the other view screen, the Celestian vessel had stopped its approach, hovering at the edge of the asteroid field surrounding the Vindicator. "They've detected our power signature," Ares noted. "Celestian vessel is deploying probes and arming weapon systems. Estimated time to attack posture, 3 minutes. In the containment chamber, the amber fluid drained completely from the pod. The figure within, a human male of imposing physique, remained suspended by a gravitational field. His eyes were closed, body covered in a form-fitting bodysuit integrated with technological components that pulsed with light in rhythm with his heartbeat. "Final neural synchronization complete," Ares announced. "Consciousness restoration at 100%. Activating Prometheus." The man's eyes snapped open, piercing blue orbs that seemed to glow from within. He inhaled sharply, his first breath in 5 centuries. Rather than panic or disorientation, his face remained calm, almost serene, as information flowed directly into his mind through the neural interface. "Prometheus," Ares greeted, its voice now emanating from within the chamber. "Revival protocol complete. Threat condition, level 2. Celestian hunter vessel detected with hostile intent." The man, Prometheus, nodded once, a slight movement that somehow conveyed absolute authority. When he spoke, his voice was deep, resonant, and devoid of uncertainty. "Status of Earth and colonies?" "Confirmed lost," Ares replied. "Operation Silent Purge successful from enemy perspective. No Renaissance signal detected in 543 years." Prometheus absorbed this information without visible emotion. Status of the Vindicator? Combat capabilities at 12%. Propulsion at 28%. Life support restricted to critical areas. For alien intruders contained in Auxiliary Command Center, responsible for inadvertent activation. Prometheus turned his gaze to the camera, observing him, seeming to look directly at the VKIR team. Species identification, non-participants in Silent Purge. Salvagers, probability of useful intelligence, high. Maintain containment. Non-hostile measures, Prometheus stepped from the stasis pod, movement fluid despite centuries of inactivity. Celestian vessel specifications? A holographic display appeared before him, showing the approaching ship in detail. Hunter class, approximately 120 crew, stealth and reconnaissance configuration with standard armament, currently deploying probe drones. Prometheus nodded. Acceptable test parameters. He approached a recessed area of the chamber that opened at his proximity, revealing a sleek black bodysuit with integrated technology far more advanced than his current attire. As he donned this combat skin, his voice remained measured. Prepare for demonstration of primary capability. Target: Celestian vessel. Objective: complete neutralization. On the view screen in the command center, the four aliens watched as Prometheus completed his preparation. The suit bonded seamlessly with his implants, creating an integrated weapons system with a human at its center. What is he going to do? More Nast, voice trembling. The weapons systems are offline, and that Celestian vessel is fully armed. Conventional weapons are unnecessary, Ares replied. Observe. Prometheus stood in the center of the chamber, eyes closed in concentration. The technological components of his suit glowed with increasing intensity as power flowed through the systems. His hands extended slightly, palms facing outward. On the other view screen, the Celestian vessel suddenly stopped deploying its probes. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then, without warning or visible attack, the sleek ship began to distort. Its hull compressed in impossible ways, as if being crushed by an invisible hand. Within seconds, the vessel imploded, crumpling like tissue paper before erupting in a silent explosion of light and debris. Lyra gasped. That's impossible. There was no energy signature, no weapon discharge. Conventional sensors cannot detect Prometheus-class capabilities, Ares explained. What you witnessed was targeted manipulation of fundamental forces. In simple terms, a localized distortion of space-time fabric directed by psionic amplification. In the chamber, Prometheus opened his eyes, observing the destruction dispassionately. Capability confirmed. Minimal exertion required. Target neutralized. He turned to face the camera directly. Bring them to me. The restraints holding the four aliens released, and the doors to the command center slid open. You will proceed to Prometheus' chamber via the illuminated pathway, Ares instructed. Any deviation will be interpreted as hostile intent. Kalen, seeing no alternative, nodded to his crew. We comply. The journey through the awakening ship was surreal. Sections previously dark and lifeless now hummed with energy. Maintenance drones, sleek, insectoid. Machines worked to repair critical systems, ignoring the aliens completely. They finally arrived at the massive doors of the Prometheus chamber, which parted silently at their approach. Inside, the air was charged with an energy they could feel but not identify, a pressure against their skin and minds that suggested immense power held carefully in check. Prometheus stood waiting, an imposing figure whose presence dominated the vast chamber. Up close, his enhanced nature was more evident. Subtle patterns of technology visible beneath his skin, eyes with an unnatural clarity and focus, movements possessing a precision no natural being could achieve. I am Prometheus, he stated simply, voice carrying effortlessly across the chamber. You have awakened what was meant to remain dormant until called forth by surviving humanity. Kalen stepped forward, mustering his courage. We had no knowledge of your existence. Our intentions were purely. Your intentions are irrelevant, Prometheus interrupted. Your actions have consequences regardless. Through you, our enemies now know of our continued existence. The element of surprise has been compromised. We're not your enemies, Lyra insisted. The war you fought ended centuries ago. Wars never truly end, Prometheus replied. They merely change form. The Celestians engineered humanity's near extinction. That debt remains outstanding. He walked a slow circle around the four aliens, studying them with clinical interest. You now face a choice. The Celestian vessel dispatched to investigate this location will not report back. Soon, others will come. When they do, conflict will be inevitable. What choice do you offer? Kalen asked cautiously. Service or confinement? Prometheus stated flatly. Your technical knowledge of current galactic civilization has value. Provide it willingly, and you will be treated accordingly. Refuse, and you will be contained until your intelligence is no longer required. And if we agree to help? Vex asked. What then? Then you will bear witness to what comes next. Prometheus said, a hint of cold purpose entering his voice. The architects of humanity's destruction believed they had written the final chapter of our history. They were mistaken. Now I shall write the epilogue. He turned away from them, approaching a command interface that activated at his proximity. Star charts materialized in the air, highlighting various systems and installations. Ares, set course for the Celestian outpost at Helios Junction. Preparations must be made before we reveal ourselves fully. Course plotted, Ares confirmed. Propulsion systems at 36% and rising. Estimated transit time at current capacity, 17 days. Acceptable, Prometheus nodded. Begin automated repairs to priority defensive systems. We may encounter resistance en route. Kalen, seeing the inevitable unfolding before him, made his decision. We will assist you in exchange for our eventual freedom. Prometheus regarded him with those unnaturally blue eyes. Freedom is never guaranteed, Captain Kalen, but survival remains possible. He turned his gaze upward, as if seeing beyond the ship's hull to the stars beyond. History has been written by false victors. It is time to begin a new chapter, written in fire and steel. Humanity has returned. The ancient engines of the Vindicator roared to full life, propelling the massive warship from its hiding place after centuries of dormancy. As it emerged from the Serpent's coil, its black hull absorbed the starlight. A ghost ship carrying humanity's vengeance incarnate toward a galaxy unprepared for its return. Throughout countless worlds, beings of 100 species continued their lives, unaware that the balance of power had irreversibly shifted. The myth of humanity's self-destruction had been comfortable fiction, a story told by conquerors to justify their crimes. The truth was awakening, and it would not be denied.